6A6078 forms of charter school application sponsor. Person at need submitting the charter school application must form the IEPC M1 Model Florida Charter School application effective in June 2012. www.floridarules-gateway reference ASB number equal the number of the reference 01257. The pursuant to section 1233 the FS form IEPC M1 hereby incorporated reference may be obtained electronically at the department website www.floridaschoolschoice.org or from the Office of the Independent Educational Parent Choice, Department of Education, 3025 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 32399. 0400. Forms of charter schools and applications and sponsors. Sponsors that evaluate the model of Florida charter school applications using the form IEPC M2 Florida Charter School Application Evaluation Instrument effective June 12th with www.floridarules.org gateway reference ASAP number the reference 01257. The form of the IEPC M2 is hereby incorporated. The reference may be obtained by the electronically department website at www.floridaschoolchoices.org or from the Office of Independent Educational Parent Choices, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. Upon approval of the charter school application, the sponsor have 30 days to propose the initial proposed charter school contract with the charter school. The sponsor used the form of the IEPC SE Florida Standard Charter Contract effective December 2004. 2014. The www.Florida Rules Gateway references ASAP number. The reference of the 04769 is base is initial draft contract proposed deletion to the IEPC SC, which is displayed in strikes through text. Proposed additions to the IEPC SC must be displayed under the line text of the application that the sponsors have 40 days, therefore, or after the negotiate notice of the charter of the contract for final approval for the sponsor, unless both parties agree the extension additional components may be included in the charter of the school contract is mutually agreed upon the both parties. The form IEPC SC is hereby incorporated. The reference may be obtained electronically at the department website at www.floridaschoolchoice.org or Office Independent Educational Parent Choice, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. Persons and entities submitting the virtual charter school application using the form IEPC 6, the module floor or the virtual charter school application effective June 2012. Florida State Rules or Gateway references of 01275, the pursuant to Section 1002-33 FSC Form IEPC Volume 6 is hereby incorporated. A reference that may be obtained electronically on the department website of floridaschools.org or from the Office of the Independent Educational Parents Choice, Department of Choice for 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. Sponsor shall evaluate Model Florida Virtual Charter School Applications Form. The Form IEPC V2's Florida Virtual Charter School Application Evaluation Instruments. Effective June 2012, Florida State Rules Gateway references ASB number. The reference 1257 of the Form of IEPC V2 that hereby incorporated. The reference may be obtained electronically at Department's websites at www.floridaschool.org from the Office of Independent Education of the Parent Choice, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. 6 persons entities submitting a charter school application to replace a high-performing charter school pursuant to the Section 1002-33-1 must effectively June 2012 www.florida.rules.org gateways reference that number is once again 1257. The former IEPCH HB1 hereby incorporated. The reference to be obtained electronically at the department website www.floridaschooolchoice.org Office of Independent Educational Parent Choices, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida 323990400. Sponsor shall evaluate module Florida characters school applications high performing replication actions. Form the IEPC HPE Florida Charter Application High Performance Replication Evaluation Instruments effective in July 2012. The www.Florida Rules Gateway reference number the AF reference 0125744. Form IEPC HP2 has hereby incorporated. The reference may be obtained electronically at the department website at floridaschools.org from the Office of Independent Education Parental Parental Choice, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399-0400. The forms of charter for school applications and sponsors, Rulemaking Authority 1002-33-28, Florida State Statutes implemented 1002-33-6 and 21, 1002-331, Florida State history of the October 25th, 2010 and July 9th, 2012 and December 23rd, 2014. Charter Schools Application Training Standards. The training will be provided with the Charter School application in accordance with Section 1002-33-60F Florida State Statute. Standard of the Charter School Application Training of the specified Charter School Application Training Standard certification herein and form the IEPCTSC Florida FA at the Florida Rules.Gateway reference ASCP number the reference 00652, which is hereby incorporated the reference to become a part of the rules and becoming effective the October 25th, 2011. For IEPC TCS establishes the standards of the Charter School Application Training. The standard were developed in the department pursuant to Section 1002-33-66F for state statutes arrested in the following topics: charter schools, laws, rules, charter school sponsors, duty services, developing, adjusting business plans, accounting for the cost, incoming accurate financial planning, good business practices, charter schools requirements, identifying and applying for the types and amounts of the state's federal financing assistance that the charter schools may be eligible to receive. Copies from the IEPCTS may be obtained by the Office of Independent Educational Parental Choice, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399, on the School's Choice website or Florida Schools Choice org. Sponsor intended to require the charter school application participation training provided by the sponsor in lieu of the department trainings must annually certify the sponsor training standards meet the exceed of the standards developing the department through the following process. The sponsor shall complete, assign, and submitted the form, the IEP CTS prior to the offering training of the approved school application no later than January 31st of each of the year. The form shall be submitted to the Office of Independent Educational Parental Choice, Florida, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399. Upon receipt of the form of the IEPCTS, the department will then have 10 business days to notify the sponsor in the form of the complete and the satisfactory to demonstrate that the sponsor standards of the media exceed the standards developed in the department. In the form, if the form is not complete, the additional information required for the department will notify the sponsor in writing. Charter Schools Application Training. C. Upon the receipt of the notification of the form IEPCTS that has been accepted by the department, the sponsor shall send a written application written or electronic notification about the training requirements to be all approved to all approved charter schools application in the most recent application cycle. Post a notice required for the training prominent place the sponsor's internet website. 3. A sponsor does not intend to require charter school applications to participation in the training provided by the sponsor in lieu of the department of the training shall provide the notification application training requirement established in Section 1002-33-6 F2. The Florida State Statute sent the writing electronic notifications to approved school applications for the most recent application. Notification shall include the department charter school and website. Application training must have offered annually, scheduled in the manner of the providers approved. The application reasonable opportunity to participate in at least 30 days prior to the first day of that class of the charter. Upon completion of the training, the provider shall present the certification of the participation application, maintaining the record of the training date, name of the title, and attendee, including whether or not the attendee was higher performing charter school or high performing charter school system application. 6. The sponsor may not require the charter school application to attend the sponsor training of the lieu of the department training prior to the effective date of the rule as amended. Charter Schools Application Training Standards under the Rulemaking Authority 1002-33-27, Florida State Law implemented 1002-33-6F, Florida State Histories as May 3rd, 2010, amended on October 25th, 2011. The following provision: approval of charter school governance. School 6A60784. Approval of charter school governance training. The following provisions are established for the approval of charter school governing board training submitted by the Florida Department of Education. Approval pursuant to Section 1002-33. General training requirements beginning with the effective date of the rules. Every member of the governing body of the charter school operating with the Florida school participates in governing training. The charter governance training must meet the requirements of this rule. Approved by the Department governing boards composed by the entirely school officers as defined in Section 1012. 01. Florida State statutes may require that the rule may comply with the procedures set forth in subsection 6 of this rule. Each governing board of the member must complete a minimum of 4 hours of instruction focusing on the government in the sunshine conflicting interests and the effects of the financial responsibility specified in 1002-33-9K for state statutes. After initial 4-hour training, each member is required within a subsequent 3 years for each of the 3-year period thereafter to complete 2 hours refresher training on four topics above in order to remain in his or her position of the charter school board. A member who fails to obtain the 2-hour refresher training within any 3-year period must take 4-hour instruction again in order to remain eligible as a charter school board member. New members joining the charter school must complete 4-hour training within 90 days of the appointment of the board. Instruction will be on the hours and specified in Section 1B and C and may be introduced in training to be addressed in initial topics and generally recognized in the support of the research practitioners as important for the effective governing board. Each charter school is responsible for the contracting with and providing a trainer who is delivering governance consistent with the governance training that has been approved by the department. Governance training plans. However, the purpose of this rule, the training plan is written with the instructional documentation, description, and instructional design of the charter school governing board. The training includes measurable performances, objectives, instructional content, delivery strategies, learning activities, assessment for the training to fulfill the statutory requirements. Charter school governing board's instruction focus on the government in the sunshine conflicting interest effects, the financial responsibility specified in section conflicting interest and effects. The financial responsibility is specified in section 1002-33-9K Florida State Statute. The training may be included but not limited to the traditional instructional settings, include individualized learning modules and online education. B. The governance training plan submitted by the review approval of the department shall address the following components: description of content derived, delivered to the full of all topics identified in section 1002-33-90K. The Florida State Statute is consistent with the hours of instruction specified with the paragraph 1B and 1C of this rule. Additional topics is addressed during the training. 3. The measurable learning objectives that specify the performance required. 3. The description and instructional strategies, activities, presentation materials, methods to be used, measured to the stated learning objectives. Overall training performance is provided. Effectiveness length of the time period requiring the references used to develop in the training. 8. Certification in that the training has been developed and is owned by the provider that is provided with a license to use training for the purpose of pursuant to section 1002-33 Florida State Statute. Qualification and experience of all personnel who will be actively involved in providing training. 3. Submissions and review of the training plans. Potential training providers shall complete with the IEPC 9 Charter School Governance Training Plan approval application of the submitting charter school governance training plan of the review approval from IEPC 9 hereby incorporated the reference to become effective for the effective date of the rules. Copy of the form that may be obtained electronically at the department's website, floridaschool.org, or from the Office of Independent Educational Parent Choice, Department of Education, 325 West Gainey Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399-0400. After completion of signing in the form, training the provider seeking approval must be submitted original 3 copies in the form and the original electronic copy of the CD saved the PDF of the official independent educational parental choice is described in the form. The department will conduct 2 review periods in each of the deadlines submitting the application on before May 1st before the October 1st. That requires the application to be supporting the documentation must be received at the department on these days. The Commissioner of Education shall appoint the review team in the view of school governance training plans. The review team shall compose the individual knowledge of educational finance, governing law, training plans submitted by the approval of the department with the reviewed in 30 days of the deadlines listed by the 3B of this rule determining compliance with the components identified in 2B of this rule. The review of the team's findings were consolidated, providing the recommendation of the Commissioner designate using the recommendation of the review team. The Commissioner shall determine that the provider is correct. Here is approval denial within 10 working days following the Commissioner determination. The Department shall send a written notification to the proposed provider regarding the outcomes of the training plan review. Either the names of the training provider who training of the plans that have been approved to meet the requirements of the section 1002-33-9K Florida State Statute will post to the department website. The www.floridaschools.org will be available in hard copy upon request of the Office of Independent Education of the Parental choice. A notice of denial shall be sent to the proposed traditional provided submitted plans that do not comply with the components identified in the paragraph 2B of the rules. The notice of denial identifies specific areas of the program weaknesses that must be corrected prior to the reconsideration for the approval. The provider may correct the application submitted to the next available submission deadline outlined in paragraph 3B of this rule. 4. The length of approval, renewal, and training plans, each of the approval extension shall be granted for the period of time determined by the Department of Education, but shall not exceed 2 years of the date of the approval, no earlier than 6 months prior to the expiration of the approval. The training provided with must submit a request of the renewal approved training and completing of the submitting of the IEPC 10 Charter School Governance Training Application to renew approved training plan from IEPC 10 for the hereby incorporated reference becoming effective for the effective date of the rule will be available for the electronics department website. The FloridaSchools.org may be obtained by the Office of Independent Educational Parental Choice, Department of Education, 325 West Ganey Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399-0400. C. A request of the training plan renewal submitted for the approval department will be reviewed in 30 days of the receipt to determine the continued compliance with the components identified in paragraph 1B and 2B of this rule. Within 10 working days of the following commission determination, the provided notified written of the department decisions to renew the plan not to return in training of the not renewed, and the provider may submit a new training plan of the department as described in paragraph 3A and B of this rule. 5. For reporting governing board training. Each training that provides offering and proof of the training program in accordance with the rules shall submit a report each of the governing board of the training of the department and the copy of the report charter school district within 30 days of the training. The charter school district is responsible for providing a copy of the report of the sponsor of 10 days after receiving the report of the training. The report shall be submitted by using IEPC 11 form. The IEPC 11 form hereby incorporated the reference effective date of the rules copies of the form may be obtained electronically to the department website. The reported shall be electronically to the Office of Independent Education Parental Choice and Department of Education, 325 West Ganey Street, Tallahassee, Florida, 323-99-0400. Each training provider offering approved the charter school governance training the program shall be provided the certificate participation. Every governing board of members who completes the training achieves the training objectives as stated by the training plan. A charter school governing board composed entirely of the school officers defined in section 1012-01. Florida state statutes may comply with the requirements of the rule, providing the documentation that they may be received in charter school governance training consistent with the rule documentation. Charter school governance training with the submitted Office Independent Ed Parental Choices documentation. Education, 325 West Ganey Street, Suey, 522 Tallahassee, 32999-0400. It must include date, location of the charter school governance training, received name, the contact information, qualification, and experience of all persons involved in the providing the charter school governance training. Rulemaking Authority 1002-33-24, Florida State Statutes implemented 1002-33-90K, a Florida State History News, July 21st, 2008, and December 15th, 2009. Alternative Credit Pilot Program. This has been repealed. The Rulemaking Authority 1002-37-5, 1002-375-7 of the Florida State Law implemented in 1002-375, Florida State History News of November 26th of 2008, repealed in May 18th, 2014.